Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video. Today I'm going to be checking out 10 more weird Disney Cars diecast errors and inconsistencies. Thank you all so much for all the support on part 1 of the series. Now, let's get on with the video and talk about 10 more inconsistencies. This is the Paris Espionage 5-pack from like 2011 or 2012, one of those years where they only released cars from Cars 2. The cars included are Mater, Finn, Holly, Tombay with an oil can, and Raoul Cerule. Why is Raoul Cerule there? Look, I know this is what you're all going to say. This is what I'm thinking as well. Of course they put him in because he was the French World Grand Prix car. But he had nothing to do with the scenes in Paris in Cars 2. He just was not relevant to those parts of the movies. Also, side note, Tombay with oil can never appeared in the movie either, despite being in this pack. Of course, though, there's nobody else that you could really include, because at the time, all of the other cars from Paris hadn't been released yet, aside from like Celine Defer, who was a chase, so she couldn't be released outside of there. It does make sense to put Raoul in there just because, hey, it's a 5-pack about France, but it's based around the France scenes in Cars 2 that Raoul has nothing to do with. Up next, let's talk a little bit about Quarry Turbo. It's an RSN reporter from the first Cars movie. You know, I always felt like something looked very off about this diecast. The diecast just doesn't look like the character to me, and I think I figured out why. The diecast is missing her rear view mirrors for some reason, and she's been out since 2007, that's over 10 years at this point. You'd think by now they would have corrected her so that she had rear view mirrors, but still to this day, no mirrors. All we can do now is hope that she'll have her rear view mirrors in her next re-release, which I really doubt at this point, since they still haven't fixed that. I don't know, though. She definitely doesn't look all that much like the character to me, and I think that might be the reason why. On the subject of rear view mirrors, Metallic Cruise from 2018. I'm sorry, this is the best picture that I could find of the actual diecast. I actually don't have her, so again, best picture I could find was of her on the card here. Cruise is all gold, but her rear view mirrors are still yellow. Usually what they do is any plastic piece on the car isn't made metallic, but when this Cruise is fully gold and then you just have that one part that isn't gold, she really looks cheap and really doesn't look all that good to me. Again, I never found her in a store, but if I did, I don't know if I'd even get her. I mean, I probably would. I get every new single that I can find, but still, I don't know. She just doesn't look all that good to me, and not having her rear view mirrors in the correct color really just takes away from this diecast. I feel like it just makes her look kind of cheap. This is Chisaki from Tokyo Mater and Cars 2. Definitely an interesting character in terms of design, but her diecast has a very strange inaccuracy. Take a look at Chisaki here in Cars 2. More specifically, look at her eyelids. They're white. Now, take a look at the diecasts. The diecast's eyelids are the same color as the rest of the car. I actually think that this looks better than how they look in the actual movie, but still, it's a very weird inconsistency. Not to mention that the headlights are a different color than in the movie. Alright, this next one is really simple. In 2013, there was a series called Retro Radiator Springs, where they released a bunch of cars from the R-Town flashback, and Sally. Sally makes sense. She's telling the flashback. But why'd you release Lightning Ramon instead of Old School Ramon? Lightning Ramon here only appears in the movie after he meets McQueen, a good 50 years after the R-Town flashbacks. Maybe they got confused because they're both red? I really don't know. This is just an odd choice for this series. Mattel has released Alexander Hugo twice. Both times it's been Alexander Hugo with party hat. Definitely odd to get him with a party hat and never as just a normal variant without the party hat. But even stranger is the fact that his artwork doesn't have the hat. This is an issue that even continues to this day with more recent releases like Mater with 95 hat and Sterling with headset, but I'll talk about those more in a future video. Yes, I did take this picture myself. Thanks so much for noticing. Flo with Trey's 2019 release just uses the normal artwork for Flo without a tray. Ironically, the exact opposite of this happened a few years ago back in 2015 when the regular release of Flo had the artwork for Flo with tray. This might have just been Mattel being cheap though, since also in 2015 they released Pit Crew member Flo who has a tray, so they just used the same picture for Flo with the tray here on normal Flo, although it doesn't make sense for normal Flo. The final two inconsistencies that I want to talk about in this video are both very similar, and both from very obscure and short-lived Cars toy lines, both based around Cars 2. Up first, we have the Imaginext Cars line. This is their Mac, very clearly based off of Cars 2, as you can tell by not only the Cars 2 logos and McQueen, but also by the design used for Mac. And, I mean, it isn't accurate to begin with. He has a picture of World Grand Prix McQueen on the side, but that's beyond the point. This Mac, again, clearly based off of Cars 2, but his artwork is from the first movie. The Cars 2 Wheelies line version of Mac, once again, is clearly based off of Cars 2. He even has the accurate picture of McQueen on the side, and also includes World Grand Prix McQueen. But the artwork at the bottom of the box is of McQueen from the first movie. Even the Imaginext version got that right and used a picture of McQueen from Cars 2. This is all really confusing and complicated. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.